We encourage federal employees on the way to retirement to occasionally pause and make sure that they're charting the correct course. You know, before you can be confident that you are on the right path, you should be able to affirm these 7 retirement readiness statements. All right, so let's get started. The first readiness statement says, I have accurately calculated my service history for retirement purposes. It is possible for you to have 2 service computation dates. You know, you have one for leave purposes, but then you also could have a service computation date for retirement purposes. So it's so important that you know the difference between the 2. Your service history is the baseline for your retirement planning. Having these in place and understanding your service history is critical. So there are 3 types of service history that can alter your service computation date. The first is non-deduction service. This is time that you served in a temporary, seasonal, or maybe even a co-op position. By law, you are not eligible to pay into the retirement system during this season. So you do, or you may actually have the ability to go back in and make a deposit for that time to get retirement credit for that service. But because you weren't paying into the retirement system, you were only getting leave credit for that time. The second type of service is refunded service. Refunded service is a time period when you worked for the federal government, left, maybe you were a stay-at-home mom for a few years, or you know, you went and worked in the private sector, but then maybe you actually came back with the government and started working with the federal government again. So this is called a break-in service. This can alter your service computation date. Whether or not you took your retirement funds can affect your retirement credit. Third type of service is military service. Now, I'm setting retired military aside because you are all different individuals. The military service that I'm referring to is maybe 4 years active duty military, 8 years, whatever it may be, but non-retired military service. Let's just use an example of 4 years of military service. In those 4 years, whenever you came to work for the government, you got leave credit for those 4 years, but not necessarily retirement credit for those years. So you may have the option to make a deposit for that time and receive retirement credit, but this type of military service can also skew your retirement service computation date. So as you can see here on my screen, there are 2 separate forms. There is a Csrs form and a FERS form. So you need to make sure that you submit to your HR department the form that suits your retirement system. For CSRS, the form that you need to submit to determine your service history is the SF 2801-1, the Certified Summary of Federal Service for CSRS employees. FERS, you will need to submit the SF 3107-1, again, Certified Summary of Federal Service for FERS employees. But by submitting these documents to your HR department, of course, be patient with them. In a few months, they will reply back to you your retirement service computation date and whether or not you have any deposits that you could possibly make.